Welcome to the Disability Granted channel. I think most of us approach Social Security disability with a negative attitude, at least at first. We don't like the forms they give us. That includes an adult disability report, an adult function report, a work history report, as well as an application. We have to give them an authorization, disclose our confidential and personal information. Why do they need that? You know you're disabled. At least that's what you believe. However, by law, you're not disabled until you prove it by the greater weight of the evidence. You probably have assumed that Social Security has the burden of proving you're not disabled. In its Red Book, Social Security defines disability for us. It tells us, to meet our definition of disability, you must not be able to engage in any substantial gainful activity because of a medically determinable physical or mental impairment or impairments that are either expected to result in death or have lasted or are expected to last for a continuous period of at least 12 months. They use the magic term substantial gainful activity. That is a Social Security term. Generally, for 2023, earnings over $1,470 per month are considered to be substantial gainful activity for SSDI. For SSI, Supplemental Security Income, substantial gainful activity is countable income equal to the federal benefit rate. That increases every year with inflation. Next year it'll be more, and the year after that, substantial gainful activity will be higher. Here's something you need to understand. Social Security has no burden of proving you're not disabled. By law, you're not presumed to be disabled. You have the burden of proving your disability. Social Security doesn't have a burden to prove you're not disabled. Until you're determined to be disabled by Social Security's 5-step evaluation process, you're not disabled. As a matter of law, you're not disabled. No one has to prove that you're not disabled. You need to understand that. So how do you prove you're disabled? I mean, you want to know how to prove you're disabled, right? Social Security disability tells us that it uses a 5-step evaluation process. It uses the same 5-step evaluation process for SSI that it does for SSDI. You have the burden of proving by the greater weight of evidence each of the first 4 steps. The government has the burden of proof only in step 5, after you have carried your burden of proof in the first 4 steps. Step 1, are you working? Until you prove by the greater weight of evidence that you're not performing substantial gainful activity, Social Security cannot consider you have a qualifying disability. Remember, generally, earnings over $1,470 per month in 2023 are considered to be substantial gainful activity, and that amount does increase every year. If you prove you're not performing substantial gainful activity, your case is sent to Disability Determination Services for a determination concerning your impairment or impairments. If you're not performing substantial gainful activity, you must prove you suffer one or more medically determinable impairments and that those impairments are severe. An impairment is considered severe if it significantly limits your physical or mental ability to do basic work activities. Next, step 3. Do you have an impairment that meets or medically equals a Social Security listing? If you have the medical documentation, the medical test, the medical diagnoses, and you have sufficient other proof, this may qualify you for disability, just meeting those listings. Step 4, are you able to do your past work? If not, you have the burden of proving whether, given your residual functioning capacity, you are physically and mentally unable to do any job you did in the past. Generally, that's 15 years. At step 4, you must prove that you cannot do work you did in the past. That's important. If you can do work that you did in the past, they're going to say you're not disabled. If you prove steps 1 through 4 of the sequential evaluation process, you will be determined disabled unless the government proves by the greater weight of evidence that, considering your residual functioning capacity limitations, vocational factors such as age, education, and work experience, and work existing in the national economy, that you can perform other work that exists in significant numbers in the national economy. If the government carries the burden of proof, you will be found not disabled. Well, what do you think? Can you prove you're disabled? Will you prove you're disabled? You know how to do it now. Do it. Thank you for watching the Disability Granted channel. If you believe this video would help other disabled people, please share, like, and subscribe so that they may watch it. Good luck.